Hello everybody, this is Poison here, and today I'll be reviewing another animatronic. This one's from this year. It is the Spirit Halloween 2024 Cremator, quote-unquote, animatronic. This is made by Tekky Design, and, well, if you, I just said, it's sold at Spirit Halloween, both online and in store this year. Like, you go to the store right now and probably pick this guy up. This guy isn't, I don't think, a great seller this year, but personally, I think he's the coolest of the year, but I'll get to that later. So this guy, when I say quote unquote animatronic, that's it's a good way to refer him to because on the website and everywhere else you see this guy listed, he's listed under the animatronic section, which is very, very, very misleading. I have no clue why they said that. Because this guy is not an animatronic at all whatsoever. Now, what this guy does basically is he is a 100% static prop. He just stands there with his hands holding a skull, and that's for his body. It's all he does. And as you see on the box, his whole body has these like this flickering flame light in it that gives the whole body like a flame effect, which I hope they don't consider the motor of those lights being an animation, which I mean technically it is an animation, which I don't think anyone considers it to be one, but I mean I guess you can count it as one. This guy, he retails for $200, which is insane. I do not think this guy is worth $200 at all. Um, if you can get him in store, definitely pick him up with a coupon, 20% off. You get him for like 160 around that. Um, but this guy on the website, I used a 20% off coupon on this guy and I got barely a deal. I got maybe $5 off the retail price. So I paid around 195 for this guy, which I'm not too proud of. But he is pretty damn cool. I think he's maybe the coolest static prop Spirit Halloween has ever had, which is kind of crazy to say. I mean, we've like the older props they've had back in the days, like the cowboy skeleton or whatever. Those are sick, but as far as like phrases and animatronic, I use that term loosely, but as far as like actual like quality goes, this one is probably the top of the market right now. Now, if this guy was sold at a different store, maybe Home Depot, this guy would be maybe $100, maybe 150 if that. I do think this guy, like in all reality, is worth 150 tops. Like this guy, his quality is pretty solid. It's pretty solid quality. He's big. He's 6'1", as it says on the box. Yeah, he is pretty large. His width, he's about, I would say, 20 inches wide. It's pretty wide, pretty deep, pretty big base as well. But yeah, not really much to say about this guy. Um, I know if he was at Lowe's, his price wouldn't be much cheaper at all. Because I know Tekky at their Lowe's prices this year have been miserable. $350 for a one animation animatronic is just ridiculous. The prices for props nowadays are pretty bad. Like this one for being a static, it's ridiculous the price. But anyway, back enough of the price rant. We're gonna get to the quality of the guy. So what I mean is he has decent quality. He has decent quality. His build, his clothing, and his base and his materials are all pretty good. My biggest issue with him is his like so he has like a screen. It's like the way the lights work in him is like there's like a white screen, like a projector almost, underneath that cheesecloth in the middle that is what projects the lights in it. And in the headpiece, like the main head is a frame. It's like a half head that has very visible white zip ties holding it together, which for $200, that's ridiculous. I do not think that should be how that is structured at all. But I mean, for static, it's really not that big of a deal. Now I've seen a wide range of cremators look really funny. Like I've seen one at my store I went to, it had like you see this one has like a very arched head, like a hood. I've seen like some that have just like straight heads, no arcs. I don't know how they get to look like that. I don't know if it's the cloth or whatever, but it looks really bad. So I don't know what's going on with that, but enough talking about appearance. This guy looks really cool. Very simple. Um, he's a Reaper. He's when I was like when the reveal for this guy was like when this guy was initially revealed, I was really excited to see him. Um, see because Cremator just sounded so cool. I mean, I love this guy. It's just the price is my big downfall with him. But when people saw he was a static, people are like, "Oh, he's the worst prop of the year. He's the worst prop of the year," which at first I did agree, but after seeing the lineup in person, just everything else, this guy really is my favorite of the year. He's like this year, Spirit Halloween's going downhill with the clowns. They're just way too. There's way too many of them nowadays. They're really expensive as well. This guy, very unique prop. He has three phrases. His phrases are really good. His voice actor is great. It's very you can tell it's Tekky when you hear the audio because this voice actor's been in countless other props. I don't know who he is, but you can definitely tell he's a Tekky voice actor. Now, a lot of people, strangely, I've seen comment sections of things, and people say the voice actor is kind of hot. I'm not gonna put any input on that, but do with that as you will. This guy's setup was pretty. It was rather simple. My only part I struggled with, which this could have just been mine. I don't know if it's like a common thing, but getting like the skull and his hands onto his arms were just miserable for me. They're like those little like spring like ball pins that like you push in and they like they lock it in place. Pretty simple. So everything has it nowadays. But for some reason, his would not want to go on for me, and it was very frustrating. I think I almost broke him doing it, but we didn't, so we're chilling. Um, his hands and his skull are like they're like a hard plastic slash resin, pretty good mold. His skull flashes too with LEDs in it. Uh, I'm not a huge fan of the way it flashes. It kind of flickers like a light that's going bad, but what can you do? But I still think it looks pretty cool. Um, I say a lot, but yeah, not really much else to say about this guy. But I did, which is pretty. I'll make a video on this, but I actually did modify this guy in my own way. So inside, I already said this earlier, but his LEDs in them are like those little like plug-in lights that like you spin like those like things they project on the ceiling. It's party lights. They project on the ceiling and they make a cool look. I got two of those and I put them in this guy and it looks amazing. You can do an LED switch. It's really easy to do. All I did was I put one at the bottom and I zip tied one to the frame. Now the one when I demo it, you won't even notice it. The one zip tied to a frame is right above the LED at the top portion of the body, which you can't even notice it. And his setup is pretty much the base, two leg poles, two more leg poles than the module, than the body. Pretty typical stuff. And that's really it. I think we'll wrap it up. Yeah, I'm just gonna get to the demo with this guy.
Step into the shadows with me, mortal, where the boundary between life and death blurs, and the night holds its breath for you.
Now time for the lights off.
Step into the shadows with me, mortal, where the boundary between life and death blurs, and the night holds its breath for you.
So guys, that's basically it for the Cremator. The lights in his body look a lot better in person than they do on camera. I've seen a lot of videos say that too. They look a lot better and they appear a lot better in person than on camera. You know, it's LEDs tend to do that a lot. But overall, I would say he's worth it if you can get him on price, on sale. 200 bucks for this guy is a little pricey, but he looks pretty good. He's really cool. If you can get him for cheap, I definitely would recommend picking this guy up. He's great. He's personally my favorite static prop of all time. Um, and that's pretty much it, you guys. Thanks for watching to the end, and I see you next video.